Welcome to a quantitative aptitude video on ratio and proportion from careerright.com. Ratio and proportion is a fundamental topic like percentage and is widely needed in other topics of quantitative aptitude. So always 4 to 5 questions are generally asked by all placement tests, job interviews, bank, MBA and other exams in various formats on ratios. Today we will see shortcuts and tips to solve sums related to ratio and proportion very quickly. Questions are available on careerright.com where you can practice with 1000 plus aptitude questions and practice tests. So now let's start. Let us first understand what exactly is the meaning of ratio and proportion. Whenever there are two or more quantities, and whenever we are comparing them, then their comparison is expressed in the form of ratios. Okay, so let us assume there are two people P and Q, and P is 5 times faster than Q. So what does that mean? If Q is running at the speed of 10 kilometers per hour, then P would run at the speed of 5 times more, that is 50 kilometers per hour. So when we are comparing the speeds of P and Q, what we will say is that the ratio of speed of P and Q is given by what? It would be simply given by the speed of P is 50 and the speed of Q is 10. That would be equal to 5:1. So ratio of speed of P is to Q is 5:1. This is the ratio. Now these are the actual values, and when we simplify it and reduce this, we get 5:1, because we will divide by 10, we will get 10 5s are 50 and 10 1s are 10. So ratio of speed of P is to Q is equal to 5:1. So this is read as nothing but P is to Q, right? Now over here this ratios are always written like this, but there is another way of writing ratio, and that is nothing but 5/1. So if the ratio is A is to B, you can write it as A by B. If the ratio is B is to A, you can write it as B upon A, B divided by A. This is actually the meaning of ratio. It is nothing but when we are comparing two quantities, we write their comparison in this format, in the format of ratio. So ratio can be considered as like a simple fraction. Okay, like say if we say what is the ratio of income of Ramesh is to Suresh, right? Say it is the ratio is say 2:3. That means that Suresh is whatever is the income of say Ramesh, say it is assume 4,000 rupees, then income of Suresh would be this divided by 2 into 3, 6,000 rupees, because when we reduce this, we will get 2:3 as the ratio. Remember, these are not the actual values. This is nothing but a ratio, the simplified form of the actual values, right? Again, when we solve some sums, we will realize what exactly we mean by ratio, how we take ratio, how to use a ratio for solving the sums or given numericals, right? Now, what is the meaning of proportion? Whenever we compare two ratios or equate two ratios, we call it as proportion. So if say we have two ratios, A is to B and C is to D, and when we equate these two, okay, A is to B can be written as A upon B, C is to D can be written as C upon D. When we equate these two ratios, we call it proportion, okay? And whenever we write A upon B as A is to B and C is to D, in this format, instead of using the is equal to sign, what do we write? We write these 4 dots and we read it as A is to B as C is to D. Okay, these 4 dots mean as A is to B, likewise as C is to D. Like, what does that mean? Just like C is to D is there, A is to B is there. Okay, this is nothing but proportion. That is, when we equate two ratios, it is called as proportion. Now, before moving on to sums, let us take a look at some shortcuts or tips related to ratio and proportion, which would be very useful to solve not only sums related to ratio and proportion, but also other topics of quantitative aptitude where you will encounter ratios. So right now we'll check out the tips first. The first tip over here is pretty easy. Let us assume there are two ratios, A upon B and C upon D, and they are proportional, that is they are equal. Then simply A multiplied by D would be equal to B multiplied by C. AD we just cross multiply, right? Now let us see the second tip. Let there be two ratios, okay, A by B and C by D. Now they might be proportional, they might not be proportional, okay, so let's not write the equal to sign, right? Now we have to see which fraction is greater, which ratio is greater. How to do that? Very easy. Take this A, take this D and multiply them. What you will get? AD, okay. Take this B, take this C, multiply them. That is nothing but we are cross multiplying, just like we did over here, okay. Now if AD is greater than BC, that means left hand side is greater than right hand side, so left hand side ratio must be greater than right hand side ratio. So we will have AB greater than C upon D. If AD is less than BC, that means right hand side ratio is greater than left hand side, that means left hand side is smaller, so left hand side A by B is smaller than right hand side, that is C by D, correct? And if AD is equal to BC, we already know both must be equal, right? See how easy it is. Let's move on to the next tip, okay. Now if there are two ratios, A upon B and C upon D, and they are proportional, that is they are equal, then we can simply write A upon B is equal to C upon D. Therefore A plus B upon B would be equal to C plus D upon D. Denominator remains common. What do we do to the numerator? We are just adding the denominator. If on the left hand side we add the denominator, on the right hand side also we have to do the same thing, and we will get it as same, okay. This is known as componendo, right? This is the componendo rule of ratio and proportion. Now what we did was we added the denominator, right? Now what we can say is A upon B equal to C upon D. This is A upon B equal to C upon D. When we added, we got it as equal, so we will now subtract. Upon B would be equal to C minus D upon D. This is also true. This is known as dividendo, okay. Division or dividendo. Componendo is addition, dividendo is subtraction. Now again let's take a look at another tip. If we divide this and this, what you will get? You will get A plus B upon B divided by A minus B upon B would be equal to C plus D upon D divided by C minus D upon D. Everything gets cancelled, and what do we get over here? A plus B upon A minus B would be equal to C plus D upon C minus D. This is known as componendo dividendo. We can rewrite it as this. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then simply A plus B upon A minus B will always be equal to C plus D upon C minus D. This is the componendo dividendo rule for ratio and proportion. Remember this. This is also important in exam. They can simply ask you, give you a value of A, B, C and D, and they can ask you what is the value of A plus B upon A minus B equal to C plus D upon C minus D and all that stuff. So remember this tip, okay. The next tip, okay, that we are going to see is again very easy. The sixth one is, if we have A upon B equal to C upon D, then what we can say is inverse is also true. That means B upon A will be equal to D upon C. We simply inverted these. A upon B we inverted to B upon A. C upon D we inverted to D upon C. It is true. This is known as invertendo. There is no need to remember the names actually, but this is just for information's sake, right? If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then B upon A is equal to D upon C. Exactly inverted. That is invertendo. Now moving on to the seventh tip, okay. Say we have a ratio of three numbers like A is to B is to C. This is known as the first proportional, this is the second proportional, and this is the third proportional, right? Now this and this are at the end, right? This is at the start, this is at the end. So these are nothing but extremes, right? These are nothing but extremes, and this is the center, so this is the mean. So these are extreme proportionals, this is mean proportional, right? And if there are, say, what we can say there are 4 ratios, then what we will say, this is the first proportional, this is the second proportional, this is the third proportional, this is the fourth proportional. These two are extremes and these two are means. Okay, these two are extremes and these two are means, right? So A is to B is to C. This can always be written as A is to B and B is to C, and both are proportional. Okay, A is to B is to C is to D can be written as, actually there are 4 dots over here. A is to B is same as C is to D. Okay, this can be written as A is to B same as C is to D. It can be written as A upon B equal to C upon D, right? So A is to B is to C is to D can be written as A is to B same as C is to D, that can be written as A upon B equal to C upon D, right? Now this is the 7th tip. Now let us see another very useful tip, okay, that would be useful to solve all the sums. Whenever we have a ratio, say A upon B, or let us take some number 5 upon 6, okay, or we can write it as 5:6. Now these are not the actual values. What are these? These are nothing but the simplified values. So take an example. If we have actual values as 40 and 48, okay, then the ratio on simplifying, that is on dividing by 8, what you will get, 8 5s are 40, 8 6s are 48, and we get the ratio as 5:6. That means these are nothing but ratio values, these are not the actual values. So how to find actual values from the ratio values? Very easy. Let us assume the common factor as k, and the actual values would be 5 into the common factor 5k, 6 into the common factor as 6k. Over here, what is the common factor for 40 and 48? It is nothing but 8. When we divide by this common factor, you will get the ratio 5/6. So if we multiply 5/6 by this common factor, we will get the actual values. 5 8s are 40 and 6 8s are 48. Same way in exam or in sums, we do not know exactly the common factor, so let us assume the common factor to be k. So the actual values will be 5 into k 5k, 6 into k 6k, right? We will be using this in later on sums, and this would become clearer and clearer how this is useful to solve the sums, right? But just remember, always take common factor k and then get the actual values. Now let's move on to question number 1. Which of the following two ratios is greater? 17:18 and 10:11. What have we seen? We have two ratios, 17/18 and 10/11. What should we do? Take 17, take 11, multiply them. Take 18, take 10, multiply them. What do we get? 17 10s are 170, 187. 180. 187 is greater than 180. Left hand side is greater than right hand side. So left hand side ratio must be greater than right hand side ratio. So 17/18 is greater than 10/11. See how easy it was. Now this is for two ratios only. Let us assume that they have given you say three ratios, like say 4/5, 2/3 and 1/2. Compare these three and find out which is the greatest. Okay, what you will do? You will take these two, okay, and find the greatest. Whatever will be the value, we will compare that and this and find the greatest, and that would be your answer. Very easy. If they are given you four ratios, 1, 2, 3 and 4, there are four ratios. Compare these two, compare these two, you will get two answers, right? Whichever is the greater, okay, out of these two you will get the greater one, out of these two you will get the greater one. Compare these two, you will get the greatest among all the four. Same is the technique for smallest. If they would have asked which is the smallest one, what we would have said? Right hand side is smaller than left hand side. So right hand side equation must be smaller than left hand side equation. So 10/11 is smallest. Okay, if they would have asked smallest, but here they have asked greatest. So 17/18 is greatest. See how easy it is. Moving to question number 2. the third proportional to 18 and 54 is, now what have we learnt over here? A is to B is to C. This will be the first proportional, this would be the second proportional, and this would be the third proportional, right? So we have to find the third proportional. This can also be written as A is to B as C is to D, okay, or B is to C, right? B is to C, that is A upon B is proportional to B upon C. So B square would be equal to AC. We know we have two values, that is A is 18, B is 54, and we have to find the third proportional. So we will have 54 square, that is 54 into 54 equal to 18 into C. 18 3s are, C is 162. Now this is the third proportional. Sometimes they might ask you to find what is the mean proportional. Now in A is to B is to C, the mean proportional is the second one, right? That is, we have to find the value of B, and we already know this can be written as A upon B equal to B upon C, and that is nothing but B square equal to AC. So you can get the value of mean proportional also. Moving to question number 3. What is the fourth proportional in 9, 13 and 153? So we have A, we have B, we have C, and we have D, because we want the fourth proportional. And what do? We have A is to B, B is to C, and C is to D. Then only we can say this is the first proportional, this is the second proportional, this is the third proportional, this is the fourth proportional, and this is what we have to find. We know that value of A is 19, this is 13, this is 153, and this we have to find. Now this can be written as A is to B as C is to D. This is nothing but A upon B equal to C upon D, right? We have to find the fourth proportional, that is D. What is D? BC upon A, right? So let us solve. Value of D would be how much? B is 13 into 153 divided by 9. 9 ones are 63, 17s are, 17 into 10 is 170, 17 into 3 is 51. So 170 plus 51 is 221. The value of D, or the fourth proportional, is 221. Moving to question number 4. Find the mean proportional between 7 and 63. Like we have seen earlier, since they have given 7, they have given 63, and they want the mean proportional, that means the third number, or the third number. We have two numbers, so the third number is needed. Mean proportional, or the mean, is always at the center. So over here, okay, in A is to B is to C, these are extremes, and this is nothing but mean. So we want the value of B. We know this can be written as A is to B as B is to C. A upon B would be equal to B upon C, okay, that means B square is AC, and we have to find the value of B. We know what is B square, this is nothing 7 into 63, that is 7 into 7 into 9, 63, 7 9s are, okay. So value of B would be taking square root of 7 into 7 into 9, 7 and 7, so square root would be 7 multiplied by square root of 9 would be 3. Answer is 21. So the mean proportional is 21. Moving to next question. Question number 5. 10 upon 13 is equal to 11 upon 28 is equal to 21 upon 11 is equal to 12 upon 11 is equal to K. What is K? Now whenever such sums come in ratio and proportion, please remember they are very easy to solve. You won't even believe how easily we can get the answer and what exactly is the solution. Let us see how to solve. Simply add the numerators. What do you get? Plus 12 divided by, simply add the denominators. What do you get? You will get the value of K. That would be 10 plus 11 is 21, plus 21 is 42, plus 12 is 54, 13, 11 plus 11 is 22, plus 28 is 30, 40, 50, plus 13 is 63, right? 9 6s are, 9 7s are, this is the value of K. Simply add numerators divided by, simply add the denominators, right? And you get the value of K. Moving to next question. Question number 6. Income ratio of Ramesh and Suresh is 5:6. Their spending ratio is 7:9. Ramesh saves rupees 4,000 and Suresh saves rupees 3,000. Income and spending respectively of Ramesh and Suresh are, now look over here, what have they given? Income of Suresh, income ratio of Ramesh and Suresh is 5:6. These are not the actual values. This is nothing but ratio. This is not the actual values like rupees 4,000 or rupees 3,000. This is just a ratio. These are not actual values. So how to find actual values? We have learned, let the common factor be K. So the actual income of Ramesh is how much? Rupees 5 into common factor, that is 5K. Actual income of Suresh is how much? Rupees 6 into the common factor, 6K, right? Now what do we know? Income or the total money is the income, is nothing but spending or the expenditure plus the saving. Whatever we spend plus whatever we save, that is nothing but the income, that is the amount of money which we received. So what is spending? Spending is income minus saving, correct? Now what is the spending for Ramesh? What is the income of Ramesh? 5K. What is the saving of Ramesh? 4,000, right? What is the spending of Suresh? What is the income of Suresh? 6K. What is the saving of Suresh? 3,000. And they have given spending ratio is 7:9. That means spending of Ramesh divided by spending of Suresh is equal to 7/9. So we will divide this also. So what do we get? Let's write over here. 7/9 is 5K minus 4,000 divided by 6K minus 3,000. What will we get? 7 6 are 42K minus 21,000. That would be equal to 9 5s are 45K minus 9 4s are 36,000. Okay. So take this 42 over here, 36 over here. 36 minus 21, 15,000 would be equal to 3K. K would be equal to 5,000. Now we got the value of the common factor. So what is the income of Ramesh now? 5 into 5, 25,000. What is the income of Suresh? 6 into 5, 30,000. Now we have to find the spending. Ramesh saves 4,000 rupees, right? So what is spending? Income minus 4,000, that is 21,000 is spending of Ramesh. Then 30,000. Suresh saves 3,000, rest is spent. So 30,000 minus 3,000 is 27,000 is the spending of Suresh. See how easy it was. You just need to remember, to calculate actual values, just take the common factor as K and then we just need to equate and solve it. Moving to question number 7. A is to B is 3:7 and B is to C is 9:5. What is A is to B is to C? Now we cannot directly write 3. We have A is to B and we have B is to C. What is here? 3:7. What is here? 9:5. Now we have to find A is to B is to C. So we cannot directly write value of A as 3, value of C as 5, because here B which is there is only one B over here, but there are two B's over here and value of both are not same. So what to do? Very easy. Just make the values of both the B's same and then we can write the answer. Okay. How to make the values of both the B's same? First, take this ratio. What is it? 3:7. Now, what are the two values of B? 7 and 9. We have 7 over here, correct? So multiply by 9. What you will get throughout? 3 into 9, 7 into 9, correct? Now take this second ratio. What is it? 9:5. Now, what are two values of B? 7 and 9, but we already have 9 over here. So take this 7 and multiply throughout. 9 into 7, 5 into 7. What do we get? 9 3s are 27, 7 9s are 63, 9 7s are 63, 5 7s are 35. Now we have the values of B as same, correct? So we can write this is A's value, this is C's value. So A is to B is to C is nothing but 27 is to 63 is to 35. See How easy it was, you just have to make the values of B common or same. How did we do? Just multiply by the other value, okay, and here just multiply by the first value of B and we get the same values. This is like calculating LCM or finding the LCM of 7 and 9, okay. Now moving to next question. How to divide 3395 in ratio of 42:32:23. Now this is very easy sum and there are two ways to solve this sum. One way we have already seen in the partnership video. If not, please check out the partnership video, okay. This is very important, where we learned how to find the share of profit. What we did, there were say 3 people having the share of profit, or PQR are 3 people and they are having the share of profit of 42, 32 and 23, okay. Then how to find the share of P or Q or R, okay. So we will solve by both methods. The first one is the share or the partnership method, which we have seen. How to divide 3395 in ratio of 42, 32 and 23? Very easy. The first part would be 42 upon 42 plus 32 plus 23 multiplied by the total, that is 3395, of whose we want to find the parts. What you will get? 42 upon 97 multiplied by 3395. Actually 97 into 35 is 3395. I am not showing calculation over here, I am just showing you the method. So that we found out to be 1470. Second method or the second part is, what is the ratio for the second part? 32. 32 divided by 42 plus 32 plus 23, that is all the 3 parts, multiplied by 3395, the total. What do we get? 32 into 35, right? That would be equal to 1120. Now the third part you can find by this method, or what you can do is you can add both of these and subtract from 3395, okay. Let's add them. What do we get? On addition we get 0952 and we have to subtract it from what? We have to subtract it from 339 and 5. What do we get? 5, 0, 13 minus 5, 8, 2 minus 2 is 0. So 805 is the third part, right? So we got the 3 parts. This is how you divide 3395 into 3 parts, okay? So that the ratio is 42:32:23. Now let's move to the second method using the techniques which we have seen right now. Here it is the ratio, it is not the actual value. We have to find the actual value. So how to find the actual value? Let us assume the common factor to be k. So the actual values are 42k, 32k and 23k, okay. Now these are the actual values. What does this mean? These are the 3 parts of 3395. That means when we add these 3 parts we get 3395. What do we get? Plus 32k plus 23k would be equal to 3395. 97k would be equal to 3395. K would be equal to 35. What is the first part? 42k, 42 into 35, that would be 1470. Second part, again the same way over here. What do we get? Second part is 32k. 32k is 32 into 35, that is 1120. And the fourth part is, again you can add and subtract, or you can have it as 23k, that would be equal to 23 into 35 is 805. So these are the 3 parts. Any method you can go by, it's your choice. Go by the method where you feel you are comfortable and calculate very fast, okay. Moving to question number 9. 285 is summation of 3 numbers. Ratio between second and third numbers is 6:5. Ratio between first and second numbers is 3:7. The third number is again very easy sum. Let us see how to solve it. Ratio between the first and the second number is what? 3:7. Ratio between second and third number is what? 6:5. We have second over here, we have second over here, right? I'll write it over here so it would become easier to compare, okay. But the values of both are not same. So what to do? Just make the value same. So once we make the value same, we'll get it in the format this, and then once you have in this format, this is the first number, this is the second number, this is the third number, we can solve just like the previous sum where the summation is given and we have to find the 3 parts, Correct? So this sum is the combination of previous sums and the sum number 8 which we just saw. Now let us make the value of second number same. How to do it? Take this 3, 7, two values are 7 and 6. We already have 7, multiply by 6. Multiplied by 6, you will have 6 3s are 18, 7 6 are 42. Take this 6, 5, two values of 2 are 7 and 6. We already have 6, so multiply by 7 throughout. What do we get? We get 42 is to 7 5s are 35. So values of the second number are now same. So the first number is to second number is to third number is nothing but 18 is to 42 is to 35, right? We have to find the third number. Okay, third number ratio is this. So what is the third number? 35 upon 18 plus 42, that would be nothing but 50, 60, 95, right? Plus 35 is 95, multiplied by, what is the addition of all these three? 285. So total of all the three numbers is 285, right? So what do we get? 95 into 3, 35 into 3 is 105. 30, 39, 15, yes, 105. So the third number is 105. See how easy it was. Moving to question number 10. Ratio of two numbers is 3:8. On adding 5 to both numbers, the ratio becomes 2:5. Which is the smaller number out of the two? Now the ratio of, let the two numbers be A and B. Okay, the ratio of two numbers is 3:8. And they are saying that these are not the actual numbers, this is nothing but the ratio. They say that on adding 5 to both numbers, okay, ratio becomes 2:5. That means 5 is added to the numbers, it is not added to the ratio, right? So what are the actual numbers if this is the ratio? Let the common factor be k. So the actual numbers are 3k and 8k. Now what they say on adding 5 to both numbers, add 5 to both numbers, 3k plus 5, 8k plus 5, the ratio becomes 2/5. That means ratio of the first number to second number becomes 2/5. Let us solve. What do we get? 15k plus 25 equal to 16k plus 10. That would be equal to 25 minus 10 is 15 equal to k. Value of k is 15. Smaller number 3k and 8k. kk is same. So the smaller number is 3 out. Okay. So smallest number or smaller number out of the two is 3k. 3 into 15 is 45. Smaller number is 45. Moving to question number 11. Find A is to B is to C is to D when A is to B is 2 is to 3, B is to C is equal to 7 is to 9, C is to D equal to 5 is to 9. Now here lies a problem. Okay, what have we learnt up till now? If it is A is to B is to C, that means if it is A is to B and B is to C, and if there are two different values of B, we can simply make the values common and then we can write A is to B is to C. But over here there are two different values for B, there are two different values for C, and it is not just A is to B is to C, it is A, B, C and D. So how to solve such a sum? Because if we try to make the value of say C same, then value of B will also change, and if we try to make value of B same, value of C will also change. So how to solve such kind of sums? Very easy, there is a trick to it. Okay, first I'll explain you the trick, okay, by solving the sum, then I'll explain you the generalistic formula, right? Now first what you need to do is, you know A is to B is 2 is to 3, right? 2/3 over here. Next B is to C, what is it? 7/9. Next C is to D, what is it? 5/7. Now equate all of them. Okay. Now what we want? Value of A is to B is to C is to D. That is, we want 4 values over here, right? But we already have 6 values. So how to calculate these 4 values? Very easy. This is the first value and this is the last value. How to calculate first and last? First is by multiplying the numerators. 2 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5. What do we get? 2 4s are 2 into 10, 2 5s are 10, 10 into 7 is 70. First value is 70. Just multiply numerator. What is the last value? Just multiply the denominator. Exactly opposite, right? 3 into 9 into 7. 9 7s are 63. 63 into 3 is 189. Okay, so we got the first and last value. Okay, very easy. Now how to calculate these middle values? Very easy. This is the second number which we want. So which is the second number in this? This is first, this is first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. This is the second number. So start from here. From here just go to the third number because 3 comes after 2, and here from here just jump directly to 5 parallel. So go from 3, from 2 you should go to the third number and directly to the 5, right? Parallel number. So 3 into 7 and multiply all these. 3 sevens are 21. 21 into 5 is 105. This is the second number. Now how to find the third number? Very easy. Again start with second only. Now here you jump to third, go opposite. Here you jump to the fourth. Then after fourth, what did you do after 3? You jumped to the fifth number. Here also jump to the fifth number. So multiply. 3 into 9 is 27. 27 into 5 or 15 3s are 3 into 5 is 15. 15 into 9 is 135. This is the answer. See what we did? We did this. We did this, then we did this, then we did this. Very easy. Just remember this diagram. Okay, what is the diagram? Say it is A upon B, C upon D, E upon F. Do this, do this, do this and do this. Okay, very easy. You don't need to consider anything. This middle diagram which is there, it is like a rhombus. Okay, or like a square or something like that. 2 different arrows. Okay, you just remember, just go like this. If you remember this diagram, you will be easily be able to remember the entire formula because there is nothing to it. See, go here and go here, then go here straight, then again meet over here, right? Like a kite. This is like a kite. You have to make a kite. How? Let's practice the diagram again. First, second. Okay, first and the last. How to find the second? Start from the bottom, go at the middle, go over here, go straight, go over here, right? So see how easy it is. Just remember this diagram. Practice the diagram for 4 to 5 times. Your hand will automatically remember the diagram, and you will, even if you don't know the formula, you will in exam automatically your hand will draw this diagram like this, and you will be able to remember the formula, right? This is the first term, this is the last term, that is the fourth one, this is the second term, and this is the third term. Now let us see what is the generalistic formula. If A is to B is small a is to small b, if B is to C is small c is to small d, and if C is to D is small e is to small f, then value of A is to B is to C is to D is given by very easy thing. What we will have? A, C and D. This is the first value. Last value is B, D, F, right? Now what is the second value over here? Take the second one. Okay, B, C and E. The third one would be B, D and E. Okay, so you have A upon B equal to C upon D equal to E upon F. Take this, take this, take this and take this. You get a kite over here. Okay, see how easy it is. Just remember the diagram, you will be able to solve the question. Okay, moving to question number 12. Question number 12. Price of each article of type P, Q and R is rupees 300, rupees 180 and rupees 120 respectively. Suresh buys articles of each type in the ratio 3:2:3 in rupees 6480. How many articles of type Q did he purchase? Again, extremely easy sum. Let us understand what they are saying. Suresh in total spends how much rupees? 6480. On what? He buys articles of 3 types. Okay, of P, of Q and R. Type P article rate is rupees 300 per article. For Q it is rupees 180 per article, for R it is rupees 120 per article. Of type P, Q and R, how many articles did he buy? We do not know. We only know that the ratio of the quantity of articles, that is of P is to Q is to R. Quantity is bought of type P is to Q is to R is 3 is to 2 is to 3. Do we know the actual value or the actual quantities? No. So how to find actual values? Let the common factor be K. So the number of articles of type P that Suresh bought was 3 into K. Of type Q it is 2 into K, and of type R it is 3 into K. Okay. So of type P Suresh bought 3K articles, of type Q he bought 2K articles, of type R he bought 3K articles. So total amount of money spent by Suresh for type P is, one article is 300 rupees. Total articles are 3K of type P. So total money spent for type P is 900K. Total money spent for type Q 180 rupees per article. Out of that he bought 2K articles, right? That 180 rupees price rate is of one article. Total articles bought are 2K. So that would be 360K. Same way 120 rupees for one article. So 3K articles cost 360K rupees, and this total expenditure is nothing but 6480 because he spends this much. So 6480 would be equal to how much? 1620. Okay. K, this gets cancelled. 2 8s are 81, 2 into 3 2 4, 81 into 4. So value of K is 4. So number of articles of type Q are nothing but 2K, that is 2 into 4 is 8. So Suresh bought 8 articles of type Q. Moving to next question. Question number 13. Ajay and Raj together have rupees 1050. On taking rupees 150 from Ajay, Ajay will have same amount as what Raj had earlier. Find the ratio of amounts with Ajay and Raj initially. Now we do not know the ratio, we do not know the initial amounts, anything. But let us assume that Ajay has A rupees, Raj has R rupees initially. Okay. Now we know that together they have 1050. So A plus R would be 1050 rupees, right? Now what they say, when we take 150 rupees from Ajay, so Ajay minus 150 rupees, then Ajay will have how much amount? It would be same as what Raj had earlier. Raj had R rupees earlier, so it would be R. So that is nothing but A minus R is 150. This is first equation, this is second equation. Just add them. What do we get? A plus R plus A minus R equal to 1050 plus 150 to A would be equal to 1200. A would be equal to 600. If A is 600, how much will R have? That is Raj have 1. A plus R would be equal to 1050. Put the value of A, R will be 1050 minus 600, 450 rupees. Okay. So what is the ratio of amount of Ajay and Raj? It would be 600 is to 450. Now divide by 15, what you will get? 440, okay, is to 30. That would be 4 is to 3. So ratio of amounts with Ajay and Raj initially is 4 is to 3. Moving to next question. Question number 14. If x is to y is equal to 3 is to 4, then 7x plus 3y is to 7x minus 3y is equal to, again extremely easy sum, and there are two ways to solve this sum. Okay, let us see both the ways. First way is the best shortcut method. Okay, let us see what the shortcut is. Whenever they have given x is to y is 3 by 4, okay, and then they give such a value, find the value of this and all that stuff. Simply put what we have, x upon y is given as 3 by 4. So put the value of x as 3, put the value of y as 4. What you will get? X plus 3y upon 7x minus 3y. We have to find the value of this. So x value is 3. 7 3s are 21. 3 4s are 12. 7 3s are 21 minus 12. That would be how much? 33 upon 9, 11 upon 3. We got the answer. Now let us see what is the second method. Okay. Second method is actually also easy, but I would prefer go with the shortcut method, but I will teach you the second method also. Why? Because sometimes it might be useful, or this thinking pattern is also useful. If you see over here, what do you have? X and y. and here you have x plus y and x minus y. So this is the componendo dividendo format. What do you have over here? X upon y is 3 upon 4. But over here you do not have simply x plus y and x minus y. Here you have 7x plus 3y, 7x minus 3y. So let us try to get in that format. First we want 7x, so multiply by 7, multiply and divide by 7 on the left hand side, or multiply by 7 throughout. What you will get? 7x upon y would be equal to 7 3s are 21 upon 4, correct? Multiplied by 7 over here, multiply by 7 over here. Now divide by 3 on both sides. What you will get? 7x divided by 3, it would become 3y. 21 divided by 3, it would be 3 4s are 12. You got 7x, you got 3y. Now apply componendo dividendo. What it is? If a upon b is equal to c upon d, then a plus b upon a minus b would be equal to c plus d upon c minus d. So 7x plus 3y upon 7x minus 3y would be equal to 21 plus 12. 21 minus 12, that is nothing but 33 upon 9. Just like previous, we got the answer 11 by 3. Moving to question number 15. If a is to b is equal to 5 is to 7 and c is to d is equal to 2a is to 3b, then ac is to bd is again very easy. What have they given? A upon b is 5 upon 7 and c upon d is equal to 2a upon 3b. This is our first equation, this is our second equation. Multiply equation 1 and 2. What do we get? A upon b multiplied by c upon d would be equal to 5 upon 7 multiplied by 2a upon 3b. AC upon BD, okay, would be equal to, we know what is this, 5 2s are 10, 10 a upon 7 3s are 21, 21b. What is the value of a upon b? 5 by 7, 10 upon 21 into 5 by 7, it is 50 upon 21 into 7 is 50 upon 147. So AC is to BD is equal to 50 is to 147. Moving on, the three numbers are in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 2 by 3 is to 3 by 4. The difference between greatest and smallest numbers is 36. Find the numbers. Now the ratio of three numbers is 1 by 2 is to 2 by 3 is to 3 by 4. We do not know the actual numbers. This is nothing but ratio. So what would be the actual numbers? How to find the actual numbers? Let the common factor be k. So the actual numbers are k by 2, 2 by 3 into k is 2k by 3, 3 by 4 into k is 3k by 4. Now we have to find which is the greatest and smallest in this. It is very easy. Let us see. K by 2 is nothing but 1 by 2, that is 0.5k. Second one is 2 by 3, that is nothing but 0.666k. And third one is 3 by 4k, that is nothing but 0.75k. So this is the greatest, this is the smallest. Difference between greatest and smallest they have given. So 3k upon 4 minus k upon 2 is equal to 36, right? Multiply by 4 throughout. What you will get over here? You will have 3k minus 4k divided by 2, that is 2k, would be equal to 36 into 4, right? So value of k would be 36 into 4, right? What we have to find out? We have to find out the numbers. What is the first number? K by 2, that is 36 into 4 divided by 2, that is 36 into 2, 72, right? Second number is 2k upon 3, that would be 2 into k is 36 into 4 divided by 3, 12s are, okay, 12 into 4 is 48, 48 into 2 is 96, right? Third number, it is, let's find out over here at the bottom, 3k by 4, that would be 3 into 36 into 4 divided by 4, 36 into 3 is 144. So 36 into 3 is 108. So the three numbers are 72, 96 and 108. Okay. Instead of calculating the third number this way, you can also calculate it by this equation, that is difference between the largest and the first number, that is smallest, is 36. So you can add 36 to 72 and you will get 108. Moving to question number 17. the ratio of market prices of wheat and paddy is 2:3 and the ratio of quantities consumed in a family is 5:4. Find the ratio of expenditure of wheat and paddy. Here we do not know actual values, we know only the ratio. So price of wheat is to price of paddy is how much? 2:3. The ratio is 2:3. So what are the actual values? Let the common factor be k. Actual values are 2k rupees and 3k rupees. This is for wheat and this is for paddy. Okay, this price is for paddy, this price is for wheat. Now ratio of quantities consumed. So how much is the wheat consumed? Okay, how much is the wheat consumed and how much is the paddy consumed? It is 5:4. Again, this is not the actual values, we have to find the actual values. This is nothing but the ratio. But since we took factor k over here, we cannot repeat the same factor over here because we do not know if the factors are same. So let us take another factor, say A. So actual quantity of wheat which is consumed is 5 into A is 5A. Actual quantity of paddy which is consumed is 4 into A is 4A. Now, what is the expenditure for wheat? It is nothing but rate for wheat, that is price for wheat multiplied by the quantity consumed. Okay, quantity consumed, right? Same way, expenditure for the paddy would be a rate for paddy, right, multiplied by the quantity consumed. Is that right? And we have to find the ratio of expenditure of wheat and paddy. So we'll divide this also. What is the rate? Rate for wheat is 2k multiplied by what is the quantity of wheat consumed? 5a divided by what is the rate for paddy? 3k multiplied by quantity consumed is 4a. This gets cancelled. What do we get? 10 upon 12, that would be 5 upon 6. So the expenditure of wheat, ratio of expenditure of wheat and paddy is 5 upon 6. There is another way. See, over here the ratio, factors got cancelled out over here, right? KK gets cancelled, AA gets cancelled. So what you can do is, you can write expenditure is nothing but rate into quantity consumed. So expenditure for wheat upon expenditure for paddy is nothing but what is the ratio for the rate? 2/3 multiplied by what is the ratio for quantity? Ratio of expenditure is nothing but ratio of quantity multiplied by ratio of rate multiplied by ratio of quantity. So ratio of expenditure of wheat to paddy is ratio of rate of 2/3 and the other ratio is 5 upon 4. You will get the same answer, 10/12 equal to 5 upon 6. Okay, but if you are getting confused with this, you can use our simple method and calculate. Moving to question number 18. Rupees 8,400 is divided among A, B, C and D in such a way that shares of A and B, B and C and D are in ratios 2:3, 4:5 and 6:7 respectively. Share of A is, now what have they given? Share of A is to B is 2:3, B is to C is 4:5 and C is to D is 6:7. Now share of A, generally if we have A is to B is to C is to D, we can very easily calculate the share of A. But do we have this? No, we do not have this. We have these three values. Now if you see, this looks very similar to a sum which we solved earlier. What was the sum and what was the formula for getting A is to B is to C is to D? This, go like this, go like this, okay, and get a kite over here, right? So what do we have? A is to B is 2/3, B is to C is 4/5, C is to D is 6/7 and we simply equate them, right? Though 3, 4. So these are the 4 values of A, B, C and D. Okay, how to get A is to B is to C is to D? Take this first, 2 4s are 8, 8 into 6 is 48. How to get the last value? Take this, 3 5s are 15, 15 7s are 105. How to get the second value? Start with second, go like this and take this, 3 4s are 12, 12 6s are 72. How to get the third value? Simply go straight, then go up, 3 5s are 15, 15 6s are 90. So this is A is to B is to C is to D. Now what will be share of A? Very easily by the partnership type or the partnership in the video we have seen how to find share. of one person. We have also seen in previous sums, share of A is nothing but, what is the ratio for A? 48 divided by 48 plus 72 plus 90 plus 105 multiplied by total value. What is the total value or total amount? 8,400. What you will get over here? 48 into 8,400 divided by 72 plus 8 is 80, 80, 120, 120 plus 90 is 210 and 5. This is 315. Okay, 315 is over here. So let us calculate what the value might be. You will have 15 2s are 1s are 15 5s are 75, 90, 15 6s are 90, 560 over here. Now we have this 3 into 16, 3 into 7, 7 8s are 80s are. So we will have 16 into 80, that would be 16 into 8, 160 minus 32, that would be 8 6s are 48, 128, 1280 rupees is the share of A. See how easy it was. Moving to question number 19. In a library, the ratio of number of storybooks to that of non-story books was 4:3 and total number of storybooks was 1248. When some more storybooks were bought, the ratio became 5:3. Find the number of storybooks bought. Now very easy, what have they given? Ratio of number of storybooks to that of non-story books was 4:3, that is 4/3, and total number of storybooks was 1248. So we will have 1248 upon non-story books would be equal to 4/3. So the number of non-story books would be 3/4 into 1248. Okay, that would give us 936. This is the number of non-story books. Now in second case, some more story books were bought. So non-story books will remain same. It won't change. Okay. Now some more story books were bought, right? Let us assume that m number of story books were bought. So what is the number of story books now? It would be 1248, that is the previous amount, plus m. This is the new number of story books, and they have given the ratio became 5:3, that is the ratio of story books to the ratio of non-story books became 5/3. Number of story books are now 1248 plus m divided by 936. Why? Because that is the number of non-story books, that would be 5/3. So what do we get on solving? We will have 3 into 1248 plus m would be equal to 5 into 936. We will get the value of m as 312. So this is nothing but the number of storybooks that were added or bought later on. See how easy ratio and proportion was if you know the basic concept, and if you just know the small tricks of finding the actual value by assuming the factor as k. You can very easily solve sums related to ratio and proportion, and you can use it in other topics of quantitative aptitude also. With this, we come to the end of tutorial on ratio and proportion. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Give your comments and suggestions below. You can also mention topics on which you want videos for us to develop. We would be rolling out more such videos and tutorials, so subscribe to our channel and stay updated.